Welcome to Be Hero Fights. I'm Tom,
And I'm Brian.
and we are here to discuss
Or Fuss.
over two hotly debated, highly related topics.
Well, boys and girls, we have finally made it. We have discussed and fussed and talked about multiple topics for 50 episodes. That's right. Today is our 50th episode extravaganza.
Woo! Jazz hands!
So, what we're going to do today is a little different than what we normally do. There will be no debates because we can't debate today. Today is a party. Party, because I gotta. So, boys and girls.
Raise your glass, as Pink said. Not sponsored by Bushwater. Cheers, everyone.
Duh.
What we wanted to do is talk about some of our achievements, accomplishments, highlights over the last year, bring on some past guests that we've had on the show and get some of their thoughts on the things that we've done. And then we were going to have a little discussion on clip shows. And and then we also want to talk a little bit about our plan moving forward in the future for hopefully the next 50 episodes. It's been just barely over a year of podcasting. We had a few bye weeks, and we're still going strong. I know a lot of your indie pods have dropped off the face of the earth by now, but we haven't.
No,
and
sir.
We're not going to.
No, sir.
So we got big plans, and we want to talk about that.
That's right. So, all the way back in June of last year, we dropped our very first episode on our podcast. It was only an audio episode, and it was Call of Duty versus Fortnite.
Fortnite. Clearly the better choice.
It's all about the COD, son.
No. COD's going down. First of all, nobody likes COD. It's disgusting fish.
Oh, yeah, actually, I agree with that. It is disgusting fish. But COD, Call of Duty, is the better game. It's the adult grown-up game, unlike your 12-year-old Fortnite.
Well, we're going to find out here, and we're going to let you, the listeners, decide who has the better argument.
And you can definitely see where we went from then to now. We didn't have rounds. There was no enthusiasm. It was practically a straight documentary style.
It practically was. I bet, like, no, Brian was a champ. Brian, Brian, you guys know Brian by now. He can just talk, and he's great at it. But I was so nervous and so underprepared, and the whole thing was kind of my brainchild. And so I was like writing notes, and my entire bit was scripted. And then I had to stop and restart and re-record and redo it again, and then write more and change things. And then he would bring up a point, and I was like, that's not fair. And I would go do some research and write some notes. It's our shortest episode by far. And I think it took us the longest to record.
Yeah, we had to stop and start. We had to figure out how we were going to do our intro and outro. It was a beast. But then we come along and we move on to joining you guys all here on YouTube, which was a fantastic amount of fun. I believe our very first episode on YouTube was Monopoly vs. Risk.
Yeah, it was. And with actually one of your good friends from the Nerdy Niche, right? Jeremy?
From Jeremy, yep, from the Nerdy Niche.
Jeremy from the Nerdy Niche was the judge of that episode. That was a great episode. It's really actually interesting looking back on Be Hero Fights. I feel like we've gone through 3 phases, if you will, kind of like Marvel, and we're starting our 4th phase. Our first phase,
kind of like Marvel.
Yeah, kind of like Marvel. We were just playing catch up this whole time. So the first phase, we did everything by audience choice. We were putting up polls on social media. We were hoping that people would listen and tell us who they thought argued the best for the winner. Eventually, not because people didn't listen and just voted for what they wanted, but because Facebook took the polls away.
Yeah.
This actually is true. Facebook took the polls away from us. So we were unable to continue doing the polls, and we tried to build a poll site, but we just couldn't really get anyone to click on it.
We moved on.
We were not good website developers. So we moved on, and we decided to try try something a little different. And so we introduced having a judge that would mediate and help us figure out who the winner would be. And that started. That started with our whiskey tournament, didn't it?
Yes, our very first whiskey episode where we had my friend Nick on, who was our very first guest judge, was on a whiskey episode. I want to say it was Kentucky bourbon versus Tennessee whiskey.
Yes, it was.
Yeah. So, and that was August last year
No, it had to have been.
or September, August or
It
September.
might have been late August, early September, right around there. It might have been, yeah, right around there. And that was great. So if you haven't heard the whiskey episodes, and if you like alcohol, if that's your thing, go listen to it. There is a lot of very interesting things that we learned and found and brought up in those episodes. It's the only tournament of that style that we will probably ever I'm not going to say never, but it's probably the only tournament of that style that we're ever going to do, and that's just because it spanned so many episodes. It was 7 episodes, right, Brian?
Yep, 7 episodes, which was quite an expanse. Due to us taking a small break in between because we did a small mini tournament for Halloween.
Yeah.
It ended up taking like 3 months to
Yeah.
do. But it was super fun. It was super engaging. It was some of the best episodes and most interactive episodes we had with you guys to that point. Because we all know our fans are fond of the alcoholic beverages.
The spirits, the
Yes.
maybe the Christmas spirit, maybe the holiday spirit, the spirits in general.
Yes. And as I have said many times, I've been a drinker most of my life, and I stopped for a while, and Tom brought me back. So it's not that I fell off the wagon, more as I was helped down from the wagon, as it were. Not an alcoholic by any means, just chose not to because I didn't have anybody to drink with. And then came along Tom and the whiskey episodes, which were fantastic. But
He loves to say this because he knows that it'll make me feel guilty, but like it's not like that. I'm not the reason he drinks. I'm a reason he
yes,
drinks.
yes. No,
I'm a happy-go-lucky person. That's the point, and I just brought my happy-go-lucky, cheerful self with some whiskey.
That's right. No, but seriously, being friends with Tom and us doing the whiskey episode, it reminded me how much I enjoyed having a drink with people. Most of my friends that I still hang out with and stuff, we didn't drink as much, except for like occasionally around the holidays and such. But I hang out with Tom and we enjoy drinking. It's one of the
Yeah.
things we both enjoy, as well as nerdy stuff and everything else. And that's why we have this great podcast here. It's also why we have you great fans here to listen to us. Because God knows how you guys could suffer through 7 episodes of us talking about alcohol and getting really drunk.
For sure. And quick side note, just remember, if you're drinking, drink responsibly.
Yeah.
We care. We Brian and we've got a pretty good thing going. We keep it under control. We never get too crazy. We have a good time. We enjoy the nuances. But most important, the biggest takeaway from this is we get to discuss and share our feelings in an unjudged, unbiased, well, it is biased, but we can safely share our feelings and thoughts on all of the nerdy, ridiculous things that we find, read, watch, discover, play throughout the week. And it's been a great outlet for both of us, and we hope that it's been a great outlet for you.
Yeah, you guys have created a great community here with us that allows everyone to feel free to be nerdy. It doesn't matter what your nerdy is. It doesn't matter if it's movies, comic books, music, sports, games. It doesn't matter. You are free to be you here. And just know that no matter what you guys are going through and whatever nerdism you feel isn't available to you, we're here for you. Reach out to
Exactly.
us at any time in our Facebook socials, DM us directly. You'll always have someone to talk with.
Exactly. And you can do that at facebook.com/BeHeroMedia or Instagram.com/BeHeroMedia.
Of course, you can hit us up on Twitter at both Be Hero Fights or Be Hero Media, and everything that is Be Hero Media at BeHeroMedia.com. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button here right on YouTube so that you guys can catch everything that we're doing, whether it's Be Hero Fights, whether it's Be Reviews, whether it's Hero Plays. It doesn't matter. In addition, I want to thank you guys for not only doing great with us here at Be Hero and Be Hero Fights, but our sister channel of Shiros. They've been doing fantastic. They just dropped a new episode last Tuesday, and it's a great one to listen to. And that one's been blowing up as well. And it's
Last
all thanks
Thursday.
to you guys. Like I said last Thursday.
Yes. Yeah, no, they have been doing great. We're actually super excited for the progress that they have made. And yeah, again, that is all due to you guys. You guys have been fantastic. And I did want to just circle back real quick to that point of, just letting you know, this is a safe place. We are not gatekeeping on your nerdisms. Brian, how often have you or I had to debate on a topic that we didn't want to debate for?
Literally the first episode.
And probably the first 10 episodes, let's be honest here.
It's truth. Very true. There are so many episodes that I fought on behalf of the one I didn't want to fight on. Again, very first episode, if you guys go back and listen, I fought on behalf of Fortnite, and I can't stand that 12-year-old game.
Yeah.
Uh,
The first phase one of Be Hero Fights was determined by a coin flip on who would fight for what, and we still bring that in occasionally because it is fun to play devil's advocate with yourself. But just know that like that's okay. You can like whatever you like, and we are happy. Like if we're playing devil's advocate with you, if we're arguing against you, it's not because of it. Don't take it personally. We're having fun, and we're wanting you to challenge yourself so that you can articulate your feelings better.
Back in school, I did a debate class one year, and my debate teacher gave us the exact reason of why you always fought on both sides of the argument. So you would go and prep for one argument you would have to do, whether it was global warming or whatever, and then the later on in the day, so you would fight at the beginning of class, and then you'd have to fight at the end of class of the same fight with the same person in reverse of the argument. So you'd have to fight on behalf of the other side. And the reason that my teacher always said to do it is because there are always two sides or three sides to an argument. There's your side, their side, and the truth. And the only way to get to the truth is by knowing both sides.
Yeah.
And that's how it is in any kind of argument like this. So whether it is which is better, Call of Duty or Fortnite, the answer is they're both great for the person that you are. So whichever
Yeah.
one you prefer is the right answer. And maybe it swayed you. Like maybe our conversation of you not liking Call of Duty, but Tom swayed you to like, oh, he made some good points. I might as well check it out. Right there is exactly what we're here for, to expand your horizons in nerdism. There are tons of nerdisms out there that you might not know anything about or are a little weary about, heard the wrong thing about, and we're wanting to help you explore those by fighting about it.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
And to continue on that point, I'm gonna get real with you for a minute here.
yo.
Yo, I went through some dark stuff in my life, and eventually, what I kind of determined a self-discovery moment was like I can keep choosing to hate all these things that I don't understand, or I can try to understand them, and by doing so I have found so many wonderful things that I now love and enjoy. And hopefully by Brian and I debating these things, and all of the many guests
Oh, yes.
and even the judges, hopefully by us just bringing up these silly topics in the way that we do, we can help you break down those walls of like the knee-jerk reaction to not like something and be like, well, maybe I should just give it a shot. And you might still not like it, but I'll bet you every once in a while you will.
Yeah, there's always something for everybody, and in everything, there is something for everybody. I always
Hmm.
tell my wife, I don't care where we go to eat because I will find something I will eat. And it's the same kind of concept for you with nerdisms. There is something in a nerdism available for you there. And you can find that because all nerdisms are the core of passion. Somebody was passionate about what they believed in to make a thing or to do a thing or to write a thing, and that comes across. So if you're passionate about comic books or movies or whatever, it's because you feel that same core passion for it that the person who made that did.
And
So,
and isn't that like one of the things that just makes life so much more worth living, is having a passion, something that you can run towards and enjoy, whatever it may be. But Brian, we've been sitting here pandering to the geek and nerd communities for the last 15-ish minutes. And
last year,
yeah, no, the last year. Let's see if we can take a step forward. So we did talk about phase 2. Phase 2 was bringing a judge on. Phase 3 was starting on YouTube, and then there was like a, not quite phase 4, but like a mid phase 3 where we started doing the rounds.
yeah.
Which that was Brian's idea. That was genius, and I could not be happier about that concept. So go, Brian.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, this was all your baby. I'm just a talent, but
He's not wrong.
but no, like the concept of us coming on the YouTube and being able to add a visual aspect to us, so you're not just hearing our voices the whole time, and being able to see not only us but the guests we bring on, and uh, the more people we have in here, and even with some new talent that we've brought on that's part of the Be Hero family, such as Puppet Pat and Moose, Danny, of course, you get to see those faces or animated faces as they come along.
Hmm.
Um, you also get to get introduced to the great community that we've been introduced to by being part of doing podcasts, such as the Showboys or Scene Snobs,
Hmm.
the Nerdy Niche, even the
30
uh,
nerdy and thriving.
30 Nerdy and Thriving. Yeah. We got to meet people outside of the podcast venue. We got to meet actors, screenplay or screenwriters, and producers because of things like this, such as Nicholas Rice. So,
Hmm. Even musicians like Chandler or Militant Me. We'll just go with
to
that.
me, yeah.
Yeah.
So we've had a great opportunity because of this, and this all started coming along shortly after we joined up on YouTube to be able to do this. Um, and it's also thanks to you guys. Between us meeting these other podcasters and everybody else in the community that we've reached out to, and you guys in general who've reached out to us saying how much you enjoyed it and things like that, it's all thanks to you, honestly.
It really is. And we've had a wonderful year, and we've actually gone out of our way. We've come up with some of our favorite moments, and we've also talked to some people that have been on the show on some of their favorite moments and things about Be Hero and Be Hero fights. So we had a couple questions for them, but Brian, let's start with you. What are some of your favorite moments over the past year of Be Hero fights?
Oh man, there's so much, honestly. Like every time we get onto a recording to do this, and even well, not pre-COVID because we started during COVID, but uh, before we started doing a lot of this at home, just hanging out and spending time with like you and Danny and Pat and everybody else in person to be able to do this. Because even before we start recording, there's just so much craziness that's been on there. It's been so much fun, but I don't know. I think honestly, one of my favorite ones that episodes we've done so far, um, it's probably got to be the Joker tournament that we did, uh, which was hilariously fun. Even though I got ridiculed for putting you down so much about choosing Zach Galifianakis, but uh, and it was still a silly choice. That being said, it was still one of my favorite episodes because it was a great collab with so many other podcasters and other people that were involved into what we were doing, that you can see so many different points of views about what was great. And the surprisingness of having out of left field Jared Leto come in to be such a straight like a great contender pre Justice like new Justice League. So just like that, like a whole episodes, all three of them encompass what we are here, and it's just some of my favorite episodes. It was just so much fun.
It really was that those 3 episodes, that tournament that we did. Jordan, not consultant,
A contributor.
contributor. That's the word. Contributor for Showboys, which check them out.
What symbiotic relationship has he impacted with Batman? Right. So in order to have Batman, you have to have the Joker, and the Joker, you have to have the Batman. Jared Leto's Joker is the only Joker that we have seen that thus far that has come as far as haunting a Bruce Wayne for his 20 plus years career in crime fighting by killing a Robin. He's a thriving crime boss within this Gotham. Not only, I mean, we know that the Black Mask exists in this Gotham, and you see the Harley Quinn in Birds of Prey is absolutely protected because she is Joker's girl. You see a Gotham that is literally bowing to this Joker, and the idea that this Joker can exist alongside Batfleck and the manner that he does to not only accomplish all of this and basically ruin his life, we now know it eventually leads to ending the world as we know it in the Snyder Cut.
Jordan, wow, what a fantastic debater. That guy knows his stuff. And he literally almost took Jared Leto to the win of the best Joker of all time, which, like, we got blamed for blasphemy so much for this. But but again, we base this on the arguments. If you can make a good argument, if you can play the devil's advocate, that just makes it so much more fun. And I know, I know at least I went back and watched the Suicide Squad, and I was like, he's right, the Joker's great. And then I was like, nah, man, he sucks. But he convinced me. He convinced me.
That's the thing here, man. Like, if you get a good debate going, no matter what the conversation is, and we've had lots of great conversations, it's never about what our personal choice is, which one did better or whatever. It's all about the debate. If you can debate and prove to me that the sky is purple and not blue, and it's a good enough debate, then you win. That's as simple as that.
Yeah.
But sometimes we end up with A Bug's Life and Three Amigos. So,
to be fair, both of these movies are kind of forgettable. But if you look back,
any movie with enough time is forgettable.
I don't know. I can still quote you everything about Star Wars. So
yeah, but you watch that weekly.
No, not weekly. What's the version of bi-weekly? It's every other week kind of thing. Bi-monthly. There we go. No, I mean, but my point being is, like, I can even quote like Star Trek, and I don't watch Star Trek nearly as much. I remember most every movie, good, bad, or otherwise, of all the Star Trek movies. I honestly, when we started talking about doing these two movies, I had to think to myself, I'm like, I don't even remember the plot of these movies. And that says something, because I remember movies, like, I am a fountain of useless knowledge. I remember most things completely, and I could not remember either of these movies until I had to rewatch them.
But you're glad that you did, because they're both actually really funny.
They are really funny. And about 6 months from now, I remember nothing of either one of them again. But there's a few more things that I've seen in pop culture that's kind of still come out of Three Amigos that I can't think I can think of anything that came out of A Bug's Life. Like, there are certain scenes. I'm trying to remember to give you an example of one right now. I watched the Three Amigos like this morning, and I'm having a hard time remembering all of this movie. But in the same vein, I can't remember anything of A Bug's Life, and I watched that 3 days ago. Both of these movies they're good to sit down and watch, just to have something mind-numbing to watch and something funny. Like, you will enjoy your time on both of these movies, and then you will forget them completely, and then come back to them 6 months later and be like, oh, yeah, this was funny. I don't remember any of it. So this one's going to be a hard one.
Which we did tell the story about that a couple times, but just a quick recap. That episode was what, like, I came up with that idea, and that was what created my entire idea for this podcast. And it's probably like the episode that we are both most ashamed of.
It was so bad.
But
It
both
was an
are great
early episode,
movies.
but
You should watch. Yeah, it was an earlier episode, but yeah.
well, Tom, what's one of your favorite things that's happened via Be Hero or favorite episode of Be Hero?
There has been some good stuff, and we are going to show some highlights from some of these, so that you can be filled in. But I put a lot of thought into this. There's been plenty of moments where we've been neck and neck. But actually, the episode that I think back on where I feel like I fought the hardest from like the most of an underdog standpoint, and actually like made a point that from what I understand made a handful of people actually like go out and do some research on my side, was actually an episode that I lost at. And that was one of the Halloween it was the Halloween intermission episode with Peter from Dark Tower Palaver. Pennywise versus Art the Clown. I fought for Art the Clown, and from what I understand, Peter went back and actually watched the movie. Brian gave it another chance, and some other people that listened gave it a chance.
Yep.
I fought my hardest. I knew that like nobody has the notoriety that Pennywise has in the horror industry, like, right? Like he's an icon. I would dare say more so than even the likes of Halloween, the Halloween Michael Myers, Jason, even Freddy Krueger. I think Pennywise really is probably the most iconic. If you think about it, the number one Halloween fear really is clowns, and that's more than anything. I feel like that stems from Pennywise. And so I took a unknown independent film character, Art the Clown, and I rose him up to match Pennywise. I still lost, but I am proud of what I did. I feel like I really gave my damnedest, and I think that was a really fun debate, all in all.
There's a big twist at the end of the movie, and it blew me away. I was not expecting it. I was not ready for it. And at the same time, there's wonderful characters involved. You got Tara Reyes, and her sister Victoria Reyes, and then Dawn, Tara's friend. Those are probably the three main characters. I mean, there's plenty of other people that that get it in this movie. The way it starts with an interview is oh man, it's so unsettling. Have you seen it, Peter?
Unfortunately, I have not. It was on my list. It was ready to go, but with everything that happened, that prevented me from being on the show sooner, made it so that I unfortunately could not watch it before coming on.
Yeah, definitely watch it. It's absolutely unsettling what they do, and it was very unexpected. So Art the Clown, absolutely, definitely the top murder clown. I think he is definitely far more terrifying than Pennywise. But let's go ahead and hear more from you about it and Pennywise.
So Pennywise is Pennywise the Dancing Clown, originally in the novel, which was published on September 15th, 1986 by Stephen King. The golden era of Stephen King, the 80s.
Yeah.
Started with Carrie in the 70s, late 70s, and then you have works like Salem's Lot and Cujo, and arguably one of the scariest of all time, Pet Sematary, right before, just a couple of years before it. But it is the one that King is going to be remembered for. Pennywise is the face of Killer Clown. Everyone associates anything Killer Clown wise with Pennywise. Mm-hmm. In fact, even
I think it was definitely a fun one as well. I definitely think it was a fun one as well. You guys should definitely go back and take a listen to it. It was a great time. Peter's a good friend to Be Hero and everything else. So you guys should definitely take a listen to that, as well as to Dark Tower Palaver, which is a side tangent. Just recently, those guys have actually on their YouTube page started doing videos after conversation I've had with them. So now you can see their faces too. So it's good times all around. And again, that goes back to what I was saying earlier. I know I keep coming back to some of the great stuff we've done here, but that's one of my favorite things about us, this podcast, is the ability to not only have a great community that we can reach out to with you guys as well as the podcasting community, but be able to help out other podcasters and things like that. We've done stuff both with Showboys and Scene Snobs, Dark Tower Palaver, Nerdy Niche, many other places, SP Nation.
Yep.
So there are so many great podcasts out there that you guys should totally take a listen to, and we'll have most of them right here in the comments on YouTube for you guys to find, so you guys can listen to them. And being able to become friends with all of these people has been so much fun, and finding out that we all have so much in common because we're all giant nerds of some variety.
Yeah.
So
We're all passionate about something, and we want to talk about it.
that's right. But you know what is not very passionate, sir? What most people dislike?
What?
Clip shows. I don't know about you, but I have always had a hard time going back and watching episodes of things and seeing it's nothing but a clip show. The Simpsons have done 3 different clip shows. They've done the one where Homer gets blown up on April Fool's by an overly shaken beer, and they do clip shows through that for the first, I think it's 7 seasons, and then they do another one later on, and then they do they do another one where they're singing. They're stuck in a musical singing thing, and Snake keeps coming in threatening to kill them if they don't stop singing, and they're doing clip shows in between the time he jumps out and stuff like that. I hate clip shows. As entertaining as The Simpsons are, clip shows are such garbage.
I mean, yeah, what kind of media company would be like, hey, let's just skip a week. Let's not create anything new, and let's just kind of talk about some things that we like from the past. It's lazy writing. It's lazy producing, and honestly, it costs them nothing. Sure, someone has to dig through the hours and hours of stuff, but it's just, come on, they're paying someone, and it's lazy. Create something new,
right? I mean, the only thing that the actors and the writers have to worry about is the setup. I don't know, say the first episode that we ever had on YouTube, which was Monopoly versus Risk, we would end up showing it something like this.
Yeah, it's a super fun game, but it's also an incredibly frustrating game. I've actually banned myself from playing it. There have been quite a few incidences with me and older brother, younger brother, sisters even erupting into fights. In fact, I can't tell you how many times someone would land on board. It doesn't even matter. And any space, once there's a hotel on it, you're forking over huge dough. And I can't tell you how many how many games I've actually finished because.
Or there was this one time that we had a debate of some popular MMA fighters, and it went a little like this.
Kind of excited about that.
Yeah. So just as a quick introduction to Randy Couture. So he's an American actor, former U.S. Army sergeant and mixed martial artist, former collegiate and Greco-Roman wrestler. So during his 10 years in the UFC, he became a 3-time UFC heavyweight champion, 2-time UFC light heavyweight champion. They're really breaking these divisions up a little too much. An interim UFC light heavyweight champion, making him a 6-time UFC champion and the UFC 13 heavyweight tournament winner. He is also the first of 7 fighters to hold 2 UFC championship titles in 2 different divisions, which actually Georges St. Pierre is one of the others that has that.
Yeah, the crazy thing, and I'll give this to Randy Couture. He was in the heavyweight and light heavyweight, and there's a pretty big difference in weight between those 2 divisions, and for him to have had both belts is crazy.
Oh yeah.
And one of the first to ever do it. I think the first, right?
The first, yeah.
But also just as impressive as that is our guy GSP. GSP, whenever there's a GOAT conversation, the greatest of all time, who's the MMA Mount Rushmore, who is it? GSP is always within number 1 or number 2.
Oh yeah.
There's conversations. Some will say, oh, John Jones, Anderson Silva, but GSP is always within that top 1 or 2. It's one of those guys and GSP. So you can't deny the success that he's had while being in the UFC. He originally started, he was a karate guy out in Canada, and he did really well in some of the circuits there. And one day he watched.
Or, of course, there's always our most watched episode of all time, which is Metallica for Slayer, which is an amazing video, which you guys should totally watch. And we had Militant Me on. And if you guys have never seen Chandler from Militant Me, he kind of looks like this.
Okay, so here's the thing about Metallica. Like, Metallica is fully aware of what I would call the entire music picture. They started out as a very, like, thrash kind of raw band, and they were able to bring the entire metal spectrum and all that it encapsulates into the mainstream and actually bring the world together. Like, Metallica isn't just some other band that's, some sort of subculture knows about and loves about. Metallica has made metal a culture of its own and has really driven a worldwide movement. I think about back in I saw them live for the first time in 2017 at a Philadelphia Eagles stadium.
But guys, as entertaining as that was and everything else, we're not the only ones that have something to say both about Be Hero and clip shows. We want to introduce some of our favorite guests we've had over the while joined us with us. We mentioned them a few times on here so far. So who should we start with, sir?
Well, first off, I just want to just quickly say there have been so many guests that we have been able to bring on, and we are so grateful for all of them. And there are many of them that we wanted to have back on, but we just couldn't work it into their schedules.
Yep.
But we do have some of the best that are back. Let's start with how about Mike from Showboys? Mike, what are your thoughts on Be Hero? Be Hero Fights as a podcast and stuff.
I do like the basis of your show being able to argue pop culture things. I think it's super fun. It's really entertaining to listen to, especially you guys. You sound like a bickering married couple of 60-year-old gay men. I mean, it's not a bad thing. I listen all the time. It's great. But I got introduced to the show. I listened to the Taco Bell versus Del Taco. Prior to a couple months ago, my blood was basically like creamy jalapeno sauce from Taco Bell. So I had to listen to that. I had a lot of fun when you guys invited me on to debate Brian about Nightmare Before Christmas being a Halloween or Christmas movie. And, like they said, it was really fun wiping the floor with him, on his own show. When literally, I mean, all he had to do was say the director said it's a Halloween movie, and then it would have been the shortest episode ever. But he didn't say that, and then I still won. But I also here's a couple things that I think get overlooked. You have the really cool little ghoul shorts, which I find very entertaining. And this might sound like a shameless self plug or whatever, but I love the stuff that you guys post in our Discord, all the little debate topics that you guys throw up in there. It usually sparks a really good conversation in Discord, and it's fun to banter back and forth with you guys and everyone else that's in the Discord there. Not to mention a good plethora of great meme content as well from you guys. So
thanks for the kind words, Mike. But we were just talking about how we dislike clip shows. What are your opinions on clip shows?
No comment.
Check out Mike, guys. He's fantastic. Mike, tell us once again what's going on with Showboys and everything that's going on with you right now.
No, we got a couple more episodes of the Bad Batch companion series. I think there's 2, maybe 3 or 4 episodes left. I don't know. I don't do the show. I'm terrible, promotion here. But if you're watching The Bad Batch, join us on Sunday nights, 9:00 on our YouTube channel. Nick and his good friend Mike, who is not me, coincidence. They break down every episode of The Bad Batch, and it's been really great. It's a good thing to watch along with the series. And then we have our weekly Thursday night episode where we just get into whatever crazy topic comes into mind. We talk, anything from film, movies, video game, web series. We have other podcasters and streamers on the show pretty frequently. And yeah, if you're looking for something to help you, ease you into slumber, I've heard we're, a good suggestion for that.
Well, thanks, Mike, for joining us for this little bit. And guys, go check out Showboys. It's fantastic. They have such a variety of different things that you guys can go see on there. I swear, but they're coming up with something new every day. But you know who else seems to be coming up with a new YouTube channel or a new YouTube show or something? Is the Scene Snobs. So let's go reach out to Mick and Casey from the Scene Snobs.
The Madman, Casey, if you will.
The Madman, yes. Hey, boys. Tell us, what's been some of your favorite parts about Be Hero?
I don't watch this shit. I don't know. I'll tell you what. The 2 times I was on. No, that's not true. I do. I enjoyed the debates. I like.
You son of a.
That was good.
That was glorious. No, you nailed it. Just your time. You fucking crushed it. That was a good one. That was a good one. You got me.
You know what? I'm trying to think. I really like when you do you did metal. What was it? Metal versus was it death metal? Metallica versus awesome. Slayer. That's what it was. But you got into the debate of metal.
Yep.
A little bit, and that was like my introduction into it, and I was like, this is a really good episode to debate, because I'm both a fan of Slayer and Metallica, and yeah, so that was where I kind of came in. So I will say that's probably my favorite, but I do oh man, you had some good ones though. What's your favorite?
Dude, I honestly just like the show because there's a forum where you can have Discord and everyone can disagree, and it's fine because at the end we all agree that we all like the same things, and it's okay.
What was the movie?
And it was awesome. That's one of my favorite parts of the show. The fact that we smoked them.
That was a good one.
The Mandalorian versus WandaVision, and I believed it was proverbially destroyed them. I think was it because the victory wasn't just a victory; it was how hard we won.
Yeah,
you guys remember we just absolutely demolished.
You guys look
smoked
so.
You guys were unprepared children. The way we absolutely brought it to your faces. That was probably one of the best parts of the show I've ever enjoyed. The thing that I love about you guys with the Be Hero fights also, y'all always choose something topical and intelligent that keeps me up and interested with what's going on in the world. So the Mortal Kombat. There's always something going on that you guys bring to the table, and that's really rad, man. It's intelligent, it's smart, it's fun. You guys are very witty, and I really appreciate that, and being able to listen to y'all with your points and being able to be dissenting right now for some reason has become difficult. Yet you guys create a platform where it's safe and it's comfortable and it's really nice. That's refreshing. And I appreciate that.
I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass. You really need to stop arguing on the point of Halloween. You did do a lot, because I love your horror movie stuff too. And I was like, are we really fighting for Halloween again?
First of all, Casey, you're too kind. Mick, sober up.
Not judging.
No. Mick, both of you are wonderful. Mick's a wonderful person. He just got out of surgery, so no, I love both of those people. But now we have to ask you guys, what are your thoughts on clip shows?
Well, clip videos are amazing. You know what my favorite thing is? When people are so lazy that they decided they just don't want to bother anymore and they want to go back in time and go, here's some stuff that we did. Remember? join us. It's awesome.
Yeah, they all
Who doesn't
kinda
love that?
They all kind of look off. I while I was laid up for the past week, I watched all of Night Court, and they had an episode. It was a 2-part episode
With Marky Post?
Marky Post was a star of this show.
I hope
so.
she was.
That's
All
a
right,
completely
cool. No,
different
just
thing.
making
That's
sure.
completely- She was
All right,
in the
cool.
episode.
Yeah, well,
but
she
was
should
a
be in the episode.
star.
Well, she was the
of
star of
the
the show.
episode.
Hence, she would be in the show.
But
yeah, right. Just
Going
making sure.
back to that clip
Because
episode
she wasn't in season 1.
from
so
the
just
6th
verifying.
season
All right, fair enough.
in
Season
Night
6.
Court.
All right, fine.
This is
Season 6. All right.
All right. I'm
It's a
laughing
2-part
now.
episode, right?
It's over. It's over. No. All right. So here's the thing. They did a 2-part episode of a clip show.
Yes.
And they like in it was them doing scenes that would lead into the clips, and like they were dealing with like an auditor, and then like they were taken hostage and judges' chambers and stuff like that. And I'm like, if you cut all of the clips out of the show, you have an episode. So why did you do a clip show? And there were 23 episodes that season, and 22 episodes every other season. So they just screwed themselves. I don't understand what happened.
Well, because clip shows are brilliant. Because they probably got paid more for that extra episode. One would think, right? Contractually. So
Not if it's a 2-part episode.
Well, it's always nice when you get paid more. And that's why you do clip shows. Because your show is so successful that you're able to go back in time and see how many other episodes you had. At times you were funny. Because maybe you're not funny now. Like, because you and I are definitely not funny now.
Oh, man. Well, guys, thank you for joining us for this. But before we let you go, real quick, tell us what's going on with the Scene Snobs and everything that's going on with you guys.
Well, what do we have going on over at the Scene Snobs, Mick? Let's fire off. Well, we've got some stuff coming up.
You go ahead. I don't know.
Oh, well, that's great to hear from your producer. You can always see us at Scene Snobs on Tuesday nights.
9 p.m. Eastern. We are live and ready to jive.
Rocking and rolling. 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. for your earlobes entertainment. We hope you pop in.
Or you can watch or listen anytime by subscribing to our YouTube channel. Or go to anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Perhaps Stitcher. Perhaps
Spotify.
Apple Podcasts.
Joe Rogan ain't the best thing on Spotify anymore.
Not this time around. Now we're on, baby. So check us out. Give us a listen.
We get paid far less, though.
Oh, yeah, we don't make any money. Go to thescenesnobs.com and give us an ear hustle. We hope you enjoy.
God, I love it. You guys are fantastic. If you guys have not checked out the Scene Snobs already, they are amazing. Check them out at thescenesnobs.com. Not only can you find Mick and Casey on there, but they have dozens of shows. They have so much content coming at you daily. There will never be a dull moment. Check them out. It is worth your time. They are awesome. Who should we have on next, though? I think no, actually, I do know. Let's bring on the one, the only, the very first winner of a B Hero Fights tournament. Welcome, Haley.
Hey, you guys, congrats on making it to 50 episodes. It is quite the accomplishment, especially in this podcasting universe that is so can be so oversaturated with content and so many people just starting and giving up. So congrats on making it this far and all the hard work that you guys have put into your show.
Well, Haley from 30 Nerdy and Thriving, let us know, what was some of your favorite parts about Be Hero?
I've got to say my favorite moments from Be Hero Fight so far has to be the TV versus movies episode, because that's an ongoing debate that me and my friends and family have all the time. So it was fun hearing a different take, a different perspective, and especially the perspective, of an actor and what it's like working in those two different, fields or genres. And of course, I'm team TV all the way. So I really love that episode. And then of course, getting to be a part of the ultimate Joker battle. It was super intense, a lot of really good competition. The guys knew their stuff, and I never thought I would be facing off against Jared Leto's Joker, but and to have it be so difficult to win and overcome. And I know a lot of people are still really salty that Mark Hamill didn't take home that victory. And honestly, I can't blame them. But it was fun to be a part of it. And I'm still team Jack Nicholson. And so that was a lot of fun. And it's always good to be a female voice in a male dominated, not only just in podcasts, but especially in, comics and geek culture. So that was fun and, felt privileged to be a part of it.
I love it. It's, and it's been great having you on. And, but before we continue, I actually have a question. What are some of your thoughts on like clip shows and, the laziness that goes on behind them?
Okay. Clip shows. My thoughts on clip shows. When I think of clip shows, I really think of two things. I think of when The Simpsons would have like their one clip show per season. And so you'd tune in, Sunday night to watch The Simpsons and then just be like totally let down because it was just a compilation of a bunch of stuff that you had already watched. And especially with The Simpsons, because, the reruns are on all the time. So you've seen all the episodes a million times. So you don't need the clip show because your brain is a clip show. So that's the first thing I think of. But the second thing I think of is one of my favorite shows, Warehouse 13. I actually named my daughter after Warehouse 13, a character on that show. And the finale, the series finale of that show is a clip show. And I mean, there's like, little things that wrap up the series, but mostly it's just a clip show of like the highlights of the show. And I remember feeling like it is the ultimate form of betrayal, the clip show, because you've got these loyal fans, these like hardcore dedicated people who are tuning in for some new quality content. And instead you're just slapping them in the face with the stuff that they already got. It's like re-gifting. It's like giving someone a Christmas present one year and then the next year just giving them the same thing, wrapping it up and giving it to them again. Clip shows are the ultimate act of betrayal against fans. So that's what I think of clip shows, but not yours. Yours is going to be different. It's going to break the mold. It's going to be like the one that stands apart from all the other clip shows and just, completely reinvents the way that we think of life and everything in it. So not yours.
Before we let you go, Haley, tell us what's going on with you, 30 Nerdy and Thriving, and everything else that's in the world of Haley.
What can people look forward to from me? Well, speaking of podcast ending, podcasters giving up, I'm not giving up, but my show, 30 Nerdy and Thriving, is wrapping up. Priorities have shifted. I've got lots of things going on, family, personal life, career. So I'm going to be wrapping up my solo podcast, 30 Nerdy and Thriving. I've got 3 more episodes coming your way. But then I'm shifting over full-time to the Pop Culture Junkie podcast. So if anybody hasn't checked that out, I've been part of that podcast since about March of this year, 2021. And we have a lot of fun. We just found a local spot here, Olympus Games in Arizona, that we get to record live out of their podcast studio, and we're having a lot of fun. So definitely check out the Pop Culture Junkie podcast. You can find that wherever podcasts are sold. And of course, you can find us on Instagram at pop.culturejunkies and follow all the good stuff that we got going on there. So yeah, that's what we got going on. As always, guys, it was a lot of fun. Thank you for having me be a part of your show, and look forward to seeing what is next for you guys on Be Hero Fights. See ya.
We love it, and I'm so glad that you're not just done podcasting, because 30 Nerdy and Thriving was great. But yeah, sometimes you do have to just pivot, and there are so many opportunities, and there's so many wonderful podcasts out there. So we are glad that we still get to continue hearing your voice and your perspective on these wonderful topics.
Agreed, and contributing with those lovely ladies is going to be a fantastic time. If you guys haven't heard them already, go take a listen. Again, all of that information will be here in the comments.
Exactly. Now we have an age-old guest. In fact, the only guest. Well, no, one of the few guests that has been on our show more than once that was not in a tournament, and that is the one, the only, as a puppet, Scott Piper from SB Nation. What is up, Scott?
Likewise for you. You have been the only person who I have decided to ask back for SB Nation, too.
All right. Shut up a second. Now, listen. Okay, I have some questions for you, and they're very important. First off, what are some of your favorite moments from Be Hero?
I personally really like the dynamic between drunken Tom Farley and Mr. Brian Burke. You guys are really funny together. You guys work really well together. I think my favorite moment, I don't mean to be a little bit biased, but back our first experience working together in the Furby, Tickle Me Elmo, and Beanie Baby throwdown, which it really should have ended in some blood shedding, some skin wearing. But I thought it was a fun episode. It was a good episode. It made me really happy to be part of the team. It made me happy to join you guys for a little bit of a showdown. All jokes aside, all kidding aside, I want to congratulate Tom and Brian on 50 wonderful episodes. Almost at the age when we can put them in a nursing home. We'll get to 55 maybe. They make a fantastic podcast. Sheroes is the shizit. And, I'm expecting good things and better things out of Be Hero fights going forward, if Tom can ever sober up.
So I guess, and the other thing that we've been asking everyone is, what are your thoughts on clip shows? Because
People are just lazy doing it.
Yeah. It's too common.
Well, this coming from a person who's dealt with a few clip shows lately, I skip past every single best of and clip show there is because, just like you mentioned it is lazy, stupid, unoriginal, unethical, uninspiring, and just downright unappealing to look at. It's what a clip show best of episode is, really. It's when you ain't got shit else to put out, you put out a clip show. Simpsons does it, Pawn Stars does it, fucking Sesame Street Barney does it. That don't mean they're good shows anymore. They're past their prime. They've been around too long. Just like old Tom. But, I mean, you'll never see a clip show on SP Nation, so you guys should stop listening to Be Hero Fights and come check out SP Nation, home of the SP Burger.
Well, Scott, before we let you go, real quick, tell the boys and girls where they can find you and everything that's going on with Scott and SB Nation.
SP Nation, the podcast, is still on hiatus until the middle of August, and then I'll be coming back with season 2. And on the very first episode of season 2 of SP Nation, this motherfucker, Tom Farley, takes over and asks the serious, the hard questions. It's like Dateline. It's like 2020, but with Tom and less important and more up, and everyone wishes he too was ball gagged. Also, you do. It's questions I was not prepared for either. And then on top of that, I literally last week went and filmed a abandoned historical prison for SP Nation After Dark on YouTube. And I'm going to be checking out a not abandoned, little miniature airport this upcoming week. So staying busy, doing a lot of exploring, doing a lot of adventuring, and not getting arrested for trespassing.
Check him out. It will be worth your time.
For sure.
So before we wrap things up today, Brian, let's take a few minutes. Let's talk about kind of the future for Be Hero, because we've done a lot. We've come a long way. You know, we've had our 3 phases. We're starting phase 4. You know, at the end of phase 3, and you could say even the beginning of phase 4. We've only been doing it for a very short time now. We started doing reviews of movies. So we have a show called Be Review on YouTube. We also have started streaming online gaming, both Brian and my son. Eventually I will. Eventually. But Brian, and then my youngest, he's 7, okay? He played Five Nights at Freddy's for his debut, and that was
true.
great. But he plays Fortnite. He's got other big plans as well. We're coming out to you with live streams, and we've got a lot of big ideas. So what is coming next for Be Hero?
Well, in addition to all of that great stuff, we've also been starting to get people to help sponsor the show, such as who we've been using to do all these recordings over the last month, Riverside FM. Just real quick, let me throw this out there for you guys. If you guys have been wanting to do anything podcasting, streaming, anything like that on YouTube or anything else, Riverside FM is a great tool to use. It makes things like what we're doing here really easy. You don't need to have a top of the line PC, a top of the line system to do it. Everything is done pretty much there for you. All you need is a decent mic, a camera if you want one. You don't need one. You can do streaming. You can do podcasts just like this, and you can stream them as live or recordings. Recordings are saved for you online, so you don't have to worry about taking up this space on your own PC. They got you covered. Go and hit right down here in the comments for our little link right here to get set up with Riverside FM and do like what we do and enjoy.
Exactly. And I'm sure many of you have noticed that we had a studio for most of phase 3.
Yes.
But the last month or so, we have been using Riverside FM. And that's because we are in the middle of changing studios and trying to rearrange things. We will still continue to use Riverside FM, but we will be back in a studio eventually.
Yes.
And we wanted to let you know that you won't have to keep looking at my couch. And I mean, no complaints. Like, Clark drew that wonderful dragon right there for me, but I'm telling you, it's for you guys.
Yeah. And I purposely make my living room look like garbage to make you guys feel better.
Yes.
So,
It's because we care. But that being said, we are working on a new studio space. With the next few weeks, we will be moving over to that. We will continue using this as well. But just wanted to let you know we have some big things coming. And beyond that, Brian and I, as surprise, we're nerds, we're geeks, but both of us have taken quite an interest in writing.
yes.
And actually, before we even met each other, I have many half-finished or short screenplays that I've written. Brian has many as well.
Yep.
And so, along with everything that we're doing, one of the next things that we are hoping to do, and we hope that you guys will get involved a little bit, is we want to start making some fun little short films. They'll probably start very small at first, but we want you guys to get involved. And we have some scripts that we've been kicking around, and I think we're gonna have a lot of fun with it. We might even do a little bit with some of the Silly Ghouls episodes that I've done. So,
Yep.
stay tuned. Look forward to that. In less than a year's time, we have created 2 podcasts and 2 other YouTube shows. We are very excited, and it's only going to get better from here.
That's right. We've done all of this time in 50 episodes. We've done all of these great things with the help of you guys in only 50 episodes. We are in the top 10% in the world for podcasts in less than or in 50 episodes because of what you guys have done to help us out with, and the sponsors like Riverside FM that's helped us out with other things. I want to see what we're going to do in the next 50.
Yeah.
And with you guys watching and subscribing and everything else that you guys do for us, we can only do more. So if you guys want to see more of us, if you guys want to see those shorts, if you want to see more gameplays, if you guys have some ideas for reviews, gameplays, episodes for this podcast,
Any requests?
episodes for Shiro's, any of that, hit us up here on social or on our comments, or reach out to us on our social medias. We are very good about responding to you guys, so please hit us up, and I promise that we will respond to you with our thoughts. And they always say there's never a dumb idea, just a dumb person not using it.
Exactly. So hit us up, facebook.com/BeHeroMedia, instagram.com/BeHeroMedia.
Of course, Twitter at BeHeroFights or BeHeroMedia. Everything that is BeHeroMedia at BeHeroMedia.com, and the comments right here on YouTube. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that little notification bell so you can say when we come on with our whole slew of great content available now and in the future.
Exactly. And I'm not going to lie, we are so close to being in the top 5% of podcasts. So not only are we in the top 10%, but you've also helped us get Shiro's to the top 10%. We have 2 podcasts now in the top 10% in under a year, in less than 50 episodes. Shiro's is much younger than we are when they got to the top 10%. We want to get to the top 5. We need your help. Please share this with your friends. And not just that, join us on Discord. Not only are we on this Discord channel, which will be linked in the notes below, but the Showboys are too. And it is the best place where you can talk movies, TV shows, share memes, debate us. We have many debates all the time. Share your cosplay, all sorts of fantastic stuff. It's great. It's a wonderful community that we are helping build with other podcasters and other like-minded people, and it's going to be a wonderful thing. Join it. Again, link in the description below.
So, guys, I just want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart, and I'm sure I'm speaking for Tom as well. We wouldn't be here without you guys. We wouldn't have gone as far as we have now, and all the great plans we have for the future without you guys. So first and foremost, thank you guys. Side tangent, thank my wife for putting up with me doing all of this. But thank you guys so much for everything. And guys, as always, fight on.
Welcome to Be Hero Fights. I'm Tom.
And I'm Brian.
And I'm drunk.